I have finally played Skyrim, and boy oh boy, I have been missing out for the past 15 years. From starting in a wagon about to get my head chopped, into having one of the craziest journeys I have ever lived. This is my first ever Skyrim playthrough, and I'm so happy to share it with you all. If you have played Skyrim before, or this is your first time checking this game, I really hope you enjoy your time watching this video. Without any further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy this journey. Please subscribe. It all started with a legendary scene where I woke up in the wagon and the guy said the thing. Finally, like he said the thing! He said the thing! After losing my mind when it happened, I created my character, and after way too much thinking, I made him a furry. It felt like a great idea at the time, and it wasn't. Anyways, after creating my character and naming it Cat, very original, I was about to get my head disconnected from my body. Because apparently, these people really don't like furries. But before it happened, my savior showed up. A big black dragon called Alduin, or the Eater of Worlds, attacked the village, and that was my time to run for my life. This guy from the wagon told me to follow him, and since he didn't try to kill me, I trusted him immediately. Fought some soldiers, and I learned how to lockpick doors, then entered a cave connected to the castle. Inside, there was a sleeping mama bear, and for once in my life, I made a smart decision and did not wake her up. When we got out, we had a long walk to Riverwood. Right before we made it, I found the stones that give you powers, and I chose Thief. That decision didn't matter at all, but it sounded really cool. Before anything else, my chat made a cursed picture of me because I was live streaming this. I don't even want to talk about that. Anyways, we made it to Riverwood finally, and like an idiot, I killed a chicken. Worst decision of my life. Because within seconds, the entire village turned into the Avengers. The blacksmith, the forester, random civilians, everyone wanted me dead. And they succeeded. The run back taught me one thing. Never mess with his Skyrim chickens. After that, the blacksmith told me to go to Dragon's Reach and warn the Jarl about the dragon. On the way there, I saw some giants and thought they were friendly. They were not. One of them sent me flying far back outside of the atmosphere, and I just respawned in Riverwood. With my lesson learned, I finally made it to the Jarl and told him about my Pookie dragon that saved me. He believed me somehow and sent me to his wizard, who gave me a quest to retrieve a claw from a cave far away. Oh, and apparently there is also a massive civil war going on in this country. I don't know who is fighting who or why, but everyone seems very stressed about it. I am sure it has nothing to do with me though. After looting everything I could, I got back on the road. And this time, I made a decision that would come back to ruin me later. I stole a horse. Not long after, I reached the cave where the claw was supposed to be. Of course, there were enemies waiting for me, but they couldn't handle me. I'm just too powerful of a furry. Right next to them was a puzzle door, and behind it, a massive spider. Killing it wasn't that hard once I figured its attack pattern. Behind it was Arvel the Swift, and I did not trust him at all. I was right not to, because the second I freed him, he bolted with a claw. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I killed him. After retrieving the claw, I found a weird wall on the other side that gave me some kind of a shout. At the time, I had no idea how important that was going to be. I fast traveled, handed over the claw, and talked to the Jarl. Then his bodyguard asked me to meet her in the tower outside the castle, which was already on fire. Because, of course it was. And that's when a dragon showed up. My first real dragon fight. But with all my hours in Fortnite, I knew that high ground is key. So I grabbed my bow, secured the high ground, and that dragon was a goner. But then something unexpected happened. I didn't just kill the dragon. I absorbed it. Its soul just came into me, out of nowhere. And that's when everyone around me lost their minds. Turns out, I'm a dragonborn. And the Jarl confirmed it. Called me the Chosen One, surely because I was a furry, and gave me a squire, Lydia, the goated squire. He also told me to visit some people in a nearby village, who then sent me all the way up to the Greybeards at the top of the mountain, in a place called the Throat of the World. And I also stole another horse on the way, which made things even worse. You will see why later. The climb to High Hrothgar was where this game truly started humbling me. On the way up, I ran into a frost troll. I tried to fight it. That was a mistake. So I ran back, tried again, and this time I avoided it completely. That worked. Inside, the greybeard wanted to test if I had that dragon in me. So I screamed at an old man with my shout, and he loved it. They taught me my second word for my shout, showed me how to basically phase through space like a flash for a few seconds. And then naturally, because being the chosen one apparently just means more errands, they sent me on another quest. Now remember when I said stealing that horse would get me into trouble? Yeah. I tried to teleport back to Dragon's Reach and found an entire army just spawn camping me in there because of that stupid horse. I escaped, made it to the dungeon, and went inside. A dead guy was already at the entrance, which was very reassuring that I'm at the right place. And that's where I found them. Wizards. Sorcerers. Now let me be very clear about something. Wizards in this game are genuinely the worst enemy you can fight. A wizard should not have that much health while dealing that much damage. It's just not fair, it's not balanced. After dying more times than I'm willing to admit, I finally cleared them out and explored the dungeon. I was lost in it for most of the time, which is why it took so long. But I eventually found another shout word, and that was nice. When I finally reached where the quest item was supposed to be, it wasn't there. Instead, I found a letter pointing me into an inn and told me to ask for an attic room. This detail will matter later. So I went and did exactly that. Turns out the attic room was a secret password. After I said it, the innkeeper, Delphin, understood immediately that I was the one that she was looking for. After a little chat, she liked me, so she invited me to our first date to go kill a dragon. How romantic can you be, Delphin? That is where things started getting really interesting. We made it to the dragon burial site and witnessed something incredible. The big black dragon from the very beginning, Alduin, he was there, talking to another dragon, trying to resurrect him. As we watched, he spotted us and told the newly risen dragon to, well, get rid of us. Little did he know that I am a cat. I have 9 lives. I basically don't die. He learned that lesson very quickly, just as fast as he died. I took the dragon soul, and Delphin finally accepted and believed that I was really a dragonborn. And that is also when she told me something I did not expect. Delphin is not just some random innkeeper. She is one of the last members of a group called the Blades. Basically, the dragonborn's personal army throughout history. Keep that in mind for later. She also had the quest item the wizard from earlier needed. So I swung by, handed over, and they finished teaching me the last word of my shouts. Next thing Delphin wanted me to do was to infiltrate a party hosted by this rich and powerful lady, thinking we could get information about the dragons from her people. Of course, Delphin was not coming. I had to handle everything by myself. Get in, I had to hand over all of my gear so I wouldn't look suspicious. But I could slip some stuff using the bartender inside to smuggle it for me. I found him in a bar. Told him Delphin sent me and he was immediately on board. Now here is where I feel genuinely stupid looking back at it. I was supposed to give him my full armor set and weapons. I gave him a mace. One singular mace. That's it. With the mace safely in his inventory, I went back to Delphin, she took the rest of my gear, handed me some fancy clothes, and I headed to the party. The host immediately started questioning who I was and what I was doing there. But my guy, the bartender from earlier, stepped in and got her off my back just in time. Inside, I needed to create some kind of a distraction to sneak into the back of the castle. So I slipped someone a drink, and that bought me enough time because people love drinking in there. Once I was in the back, it was time to reclaim my gear, aka my singular mace. First thing I ran into? A wizard. Of course. Why the hell not? I couldn't do anything with a mace against the wizard, so I just died. On the second try, I went one by one since there was 2 people in there. I killed the first one, stole his armor and weapon this time, and used that to take down the rest, aka the other ones. But it did not stop here. In the courtyard, another wizard, of course, because why the hell not? I came out of that fight with 1 HP left, with 1 more enemy still standing, and I had to do the cartoon round and round the trade technique just to survive. Then came the worst area of this entire mission. 6 enemies, 2 of them were wizards. And every time I went through a door, the game autosaved and respawned every enemy right on top of me. I was completely stuck. Because at this point, those wizards and all of those enemies just started reacting in the game before I even had the chance to pause or do anything. So I was stuck there for some time. And the problem is, I was on 1 HP, so as soon as I got back there from the load, they would immediately just kill me. I couldn't even heal. And then I had the greatest idea of my entire life. What if leveling up restores my health? It does. It does restore my health. I felt so genius for straight up half an hour at that day. After I got my health up, I ran in circles, leveled up in mid-chaos, and I used that to finally clear the room. I got a key, found the trapdoor, and I simply got out. I'm never going back in there ever again. With that nightmare behind me, I went back to Delphin with the news that the entire party infiltration gave us absolutely nothing useful about the dragons. A complete waste of time. Before heading out again, I swung by, grabbed my gear back from Delphin, sold my extra junk to the smith, made some quick money, and got back on the road. The next area I was sent to turned to be a DLC questline, and I wanted to finish the main story first, so I dropped it and went back to the questline. If you guys want me to do the DLCs as well, make sure you tell me down in the comments. When I have returned, some guy tried to act tough with me. Wrong furry to mess with. After dealing with him, I went into the sewers looking for someone who supposedly had informations. The first time I got there, I died. This is going to be a common theme now. The second time, I cleared it out. Somehow stumbled into a side quest, died even more times, and eventually find my way back into the main story. After bribing the right person, I found who I was looking for, reunited them with Delphin, and got pointed towards the next step. I also grabbed a spell that was supposed to help me navigate. No more getting lost. Surely. And now, I had to babysit not only one, but 2 adults to the way on the road with me. With everyone in tow, we headed to the next destination. On the way, we got attacked by a wyvern that kept flying away every time it got low on health, heading up and coming back. And after the 3rd time, I just ignored it and we kept moving. There was also a camp of enemies along the way that I destroyed completely, because why not? And just to let you know, yes, wizards were involved. We eventually reached the cave, fought through some enemies, solved the puzzle, and made it to a door that required my blood to open. After Esbern, the guy that I have rescued earlier, finished telling us everything about the wall inside, I was sent back to the Greybeards to learn a shout that could help defeat Elduin. But they didn't really want to teach me, until a voice stepped in and convinced them. So naturally, they sent me up to the very peak of the mountain to meet the source of that voice. They gave me a shout called Clear Skies to help me get through the storm at the top. And up there, I met Parthenox, an ancient dragon, the one who had been guiding the Greybeards this entire time. He taught me a new shout and then pointed me towards the Elder Scrolls, and that is when I finally understood what this game is actually named after. The Elder Scrolls are somehow connected to defeating Elduin, and to find one, I was sent to a college where they were supposedly kept. Turns out, saying that you are the Dragonborn gets you whatever you want from basically anyone. It's the cheat code. The librarian inside pointed me to this madman named Septimus Cygnus, who sent me to a cave far up north to actually retrieve the scroll. This game is literally just a chain of people who know something. The cave was full of mechanical enemies, which honestly weren't too bad. Lydia was absolutely destroying them with her greatsword. But the deeper we went, the stronger the enemies got. And of course, when I needed Lydia, she was nowhere to be found. The next day, I came back and pushed deeper into the cave. I might have died once or twice, maybe 10 times. Even Lydia died at one point, and that was genuinely sad. Eventually, I reached the gate with a massive robot guarding it. While running from it, I spotted some enemies already fighting each other, and I just let them handle it. After surviving that somehow, I reached a massive open cave, swarmed with enemies. My plan was simple: run past everything and touch nothing. Lydia had different plans. She started fighting every single mob in there, so I made the painful decision to leave her behind, fully expecting her to teleport to me once I reached the next area. Unfortunately, She did not. I had to move on alone. But eventually, I found the room with the Elder Scroll and made my way back to Perthernox. Alone up there, I used the scroll to travel back in time and witnessed the moment the ancient heroes first used the shout against Elduin. I learned it from watching them. The cutscene was a little silly, but I sat through it. And then the moment it ended, Elduin ambushed me. I had no idea how to fight him, and I just died immediately for the first time. On the second attempt, I grabbed my bow and started shooting. It was slow, but eventually it worked. After dealing with Elduin at the first time, I found out that I needed to trap a living dragon inside Dragon's Reach in order to actually go ahead and kill Elduin for good. So I went back to the Jarl and casually dropped the news that I needed to bring a dragon into his home. He wasn't very thrilled about it, but after reminding him that I'm the Dragonborn and basically his daddy at this point, he agreed on one condition. Remember the civil war I mentioned at the very beginning that I said had nothing to do with me? Yeah? It has everything to do with me now. In order for the Jarl to agree, I needed to negotiate a temporary truce between both sides of the war, so neither army would attack while there is a dragon loose in the city. The Greybeards offered to host the meeting, so off I went. But when I teleported to the Greybeards' keep to set everything up, I found Lydia alive. I was genuinely happy. I cannot even explain it. With Lydia to my side again, we first went to General Tellius, convincing him to show up, and then Jarl Ulfric, the other side of the war, who resisted just a little bit before agreeing to be a good boy and attend the meeting. After I went back to the peace talks with my homie Lydia, both sides sat down at the throat of the world with the Greybeards. They both wanted things. I stood there and mediated the whole thing like I was their dad, which honestly, I kind of am at this point. At the end, we have reached the truce. The civil war was on hold. Now it was time for the dragon. I went back to the Jarl. He took me to the courtyard, and I called the dragon a little bitch. With its pride absolutely shattered, it showed up immediately. I died once before being able to trap in it, but eventually the dragon was trapped. His name was Udavin, and he agreed to take me to where Alduin was hiding if I freed him. I trusted the dragon I had just imprisoned. Classic me. We flew to a massive fortress, and I ran basically every enemy in there because I was just too weak to waste time fighting. Through a door, into a cave, past few more fights and puzzles, I found the shout I needed. Right behind that was the exit, and above it was Sovngarde. I don't even know why I said it like that, it just sounded epic. But this place was one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen in a game. It was pretty foggy, but it was really beautiful. Deep inside the fog stood Tsun, an absolute gigachad of a guardian who wanted to test my worth as a warrior, so he just started to beating the shit out of me. But eventually, I defeated him, proved myself, and I was let into the Hall of Valor. Inside were the ancient heroes who had been waiting for this moment. We gathered, we called Elduin with a shout that I had learned, and there he was, that flying lizard who started all of this. This fight was nothing like the first time. We completely dismantled him, and then it was over. Elduin was dead for good this time. Tsun sent me back to the land of the living, and I found myself standing at the throat of the world, surrounded by dragons, paying their respects. But there was one problem still waiting for me. The Blades, Dolphins group, the ones I mentioned earlier, wanted me to kill Perthernox because he used to serve Elduin a long time ago. And I said no. Without Perthernox, none of this would have been possible. He guided the Greybeards, he helped me learn what I needed. He pointed me towards the Elder Scrolls. He earned his place. The Blades were overreacting, and Perthernox deserved better. Udavin also came back one last time to congratulate me, and let me know he was going on his own way now. Good for him, honestly. And that was it. From waking up in a wagon about to lose my head, to standing at the top of the world after defeating the World Eater. Not bad for a random furry named Cat. This game was an absolute masterpiece, and I loved every single second of it. All of this was recorded live on my Twitch channel. If you watched this far, comment Udavin, and I will shout you out in the next video. I'll be live on Twitch and YouTube every day. I will see you in there.